Welcome to Decades of Horror, the classic era.
Dirty, stinking, slimy gators! You bit my hand off, didn't you? I'm going to spend the rest of my life killing gators. The rest of my life. Killing them!
This is episode 161, recorded September 24th, 2023. And eat.
Gruesome Magazine.
Gator rights!
I'm sure if you lived in, you probably had gator, didn't you?
Many times, yes.
At some point. My name is Jeff Mohr, and on this podcast, we cover the good, the bad, maybe even the ugly horror films released since the beginning of time through 1969. In each episode, we'll discuss the monster spirits, psychos, and villains haunting movie-going audiences since the dawn of film history. With me this week are my incredible co-hosts, Chad Hunt, co-host on Decades of Horror, the 70s and 80s, film producer and director with Wreak Havoc Productions, and a comic book artist and writer. Chad, how are you?
I am good.
Yeah. And you were at the Wreak Havoc Film Festival this weekend, right?
Sort of. I was trying to be there. Circumstances, circumstances prevented that, but it was a successful film fest, and everybody was happy. Everybody got scared, and it was big success. It was good.
Excellent.
Another one in the hole.
Yeah, we should mention that fellow Gruesome Magazine co-host Christopher G. Mohr had one of his films there.
Oh yeah. No, we're not going to mention that.
Okay.
Worst laid
No, I'm just
plans.
His film "Worst Laid Plans" was the feature on Saturday,
which is actually I have. He's told me confidential is patterned after Motel Hell.
Yeah, right.
I could see that. Yeah.
Also with us is Daphne, who is also stupendous and likable as hell. How you doing, Daphne?
I'm doing good. I'm also good.
And we got bats in the background.
Yes, and these are from Mikey Z.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It's still 3D printing.
Yeah.
Thingy
So
schedule,
and they're really cool. They it says Halloween.
Cool.
Oh,
I like that.
Yeah.
Wait, let's see yours, Doc.
Mine is like a little key thing.
Like a keychain.
For Jaws.
For
Oh,
Jaws.
cool.
Awesome.
And it says,
Nice.
I'm trying to get it. Amity Island, 1975. Jaws.
Oh, that's cool.
Excellent.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Awesome.
So
Thanks, Mikey.
I was, yes, thank you very much, Mikey. And I was texting him because we mentioned the black bird I got, the Maltese Falcon last time. And I said something about how long that takes. He said it was a 13-hour build.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Which
In stereo.
I'd be like, the number of times a computer has done something for 13 hours that I asked it to do without crashing or whoops, doing it. Whoops. So 3 cheers to you, Mikey.
Thank you.
We all really appreciate it. Okay, and also with us is Doc Rotten.
That's me.
Jaws man, a podcaster extraordinaire, Gruesome Magazine creator. How are you, Doc?
I am good. Thank you. I'm good. It's a good day. Yeah. Doing a fun movie.
Yep.
Little Lon Chaney Jr. action in it.
Oh my God, yes, Lon Chaney. So we just did a Lon Chaney not too long ago, where I was counting up all the episodes we've done with John Carradine and Lon Chaney, and now we just added another one. So, Decades of Horror and Gruesome Magazine partner with Play Now Media on several of their streaming channels / apps. Decades of Horror, the classic era, is on the Classic Sci-Fi Movie Channel, the Classic Horror Movie Channel, and the Wicked Horror TV Channel. And 70s and 80s, Decades of Horror, the 70s and 80s are on the Wicked Horror TV Channel, where you can watch stuff like Adam Age Vampire, Attack of the Mushroom People,
Fandango.
Battle in Outer Space, Rocky Jones, Space Ranger, Beyond the Moon.
That sounds like an SNL skit.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, check this stuff out. I'm not kidding. I pull that up and I just pick something, start watching it, and it's fun. There's probably 50% of the stuff on there. Not only have I not seen, I haven't heard of it. All right,
but he's got a Blu-ray.
But I do. I noticed he has what's the Bela Lugosi cereal we just bought? The Phantom Creeps.
Phantom Creeps. Yeah.
That's on one of his channels.
Phantom Creeps.
What did I watch? Something about invaders from the stratosphere or something like that.
Zombies of the Stratosphere.
Zombies of the Stratosphere, which was absolutely hilarious. And I had forgotten how serials play, because every single 12-minute segment has a chase scene, a battle, and then a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah.
You see the same rocket ship flying across the sky, or the same car. Anyway, they're hilarious.
It's always through the desert.
Yes.
That's the cheapest place they could film.
That's right. Nobody cares how you drive in the desert.
It's always in the desert.
All right. So we should get on to this. Spoiler alert, this movie is 64 years old. So I don't know. We just spoil all our movies. If you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. But our topic today is the Alligator People.
Yeah.
I want to look like that.
The Hook.
Looks
so
like a
clever,
clothes
and his
hanger.
hand is so cleverly disguised inside that. It doesn't
What do you
look anything like a fist holding on to the end of it. All right. And that's Beverly Garland sitting next to him. What a fun
Woos
movie.
woo.
The Alligator People, 1959, directed by Roy Del Ruth, written by Orville H. Hampton, the screenplay, from a story by Mr. Hampton and Charles O'Neill, and first draft of the script was Robert Fresco. Cast includes Lon Chaney Jr., Beverly Garland, Richard Crane, George McCready, Frida Inescort, Douglas Kennedy, Bruce Bennett, and Vince Townsend Jr. It's produced, or the production company is Associated Producers, Inc., API. Not AIP, but, kind of close to it. Distributed by 20th Century Fox, filmed at the 20th Century Fox Studios in Los Angeles. Filming dates, well, that's where you come into this stuff. We have a couple of these on this movie, like what the heck really happened? One place says they started filming in February 16th, I think Wikipedia. IMDb says they started filming on April 13th. And the commentary on the movie says it had a 10-day shooting schedule. So I don't know. Somewhere in the late winter, early spring of 59. It was released July 16th, 1959. The budget is an estimated $300,000. And the synopsis, a woman in a hypnotic state recounts to two doctors the details of a horrific experience from her past life that begin with a mysterious and sudden disappearance of her husband. As I read that, I was thinking about, anyway, it wasn't one of her past lives. It was out of her past life. Okay, I get it.
But there's no mention of alligators. Okay, that's just me.
There isn't. I guess they're trying to surprise you, even though the title. Anyway, yeah, and so on this podcast, what we normally do is give a few details, which we just did. We'll do first impressions and taglines, and then get into general discussion about the movie. And there's actually a lot of stuff to talk about in this movie. So let's start with Doc Rotten, since this is his pick.
My pick.
The Alligator People.
You know me, Monster Kid. I love the monsters, and Alligator People, I had to do it. I love the look of the fake ass alligator person. But I don't know. It's just it's so remarkably and wonderfully bad. But it's kind of, I don't know. It's just beautiful in its own way. And but so is the makeup on the guy before, right? When he's all scaly and stuff.
That's
really
pretty good.
interesting. Yeah, I mean, and of course, Lon Chaney Jr. is just as what a skeeve that he is in this one. But with the hook and everything and shooting the alligator, I'm going to shoot the alligator. The dialogue was great. Yeah, I love this movie. I saw it way back in the day when I'd watch it like, on a Saturday afternoon or late evening, or, Saturday night or whatever, one of the many horror things they would have on the weekend. And just the look of the alligator man himself, an alligator will wear pants, as they say, just always sticks with me. And I love this movie. An apology.
Reptilian love. Okay. Thanks, Doc. I'm glad you picked it. Daphne, how about you?
This was the first time I saw it, and I was looking forward to seeing it after Doc talked about how much he loved it, and I thought it was great. It was so much fun. I loved the alligator in pants. I love the texture of the costume. I love that there was radiation involved. I mean, there's always got to be some radiation doing something. Cobalt's scary radiation.
Gamma, they even said gamma radiation, right? It's like, wait, how does that work?
Gamma. And I just thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. I feel like if I would have seen it as a kid, it would have been a movie I would have watched afterwards a lot, just to feel like a kid again, or to get some a comfort movie. And I thought that was it Beverly Garland. She was awesome. Her character was so warm and tough and fun. And yeah, I thought it was great. It was really fun. Thanks, Doc. It was good.
You're welcome.
All right.
Good
Next up is Chad Hunt. I'm sure you've seen this before.
I've seen growing up. I saw bits and pieces of it, and but I've never seen the whole thing until yesterday.
Oh my! Okay.
I agree with Daphne. This was a fun little movie with the rubberiest alligator costume I've ever seen in my life. Had more wrinkles than Abe Vigoda's lower back. I don't know. But
wow. I don't even want to know how you know that.
Stop.
I know things. I know things I don't want to know. Okay.
Clearly.
But,
Are you saying they made a body mold? No.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. But yeah, it was fun. It had a cool little story and that Beverly Garland was great in this. The little twist of, you think the people in the house are these evil people that are out, but it's actually his parents that are helping him, and it was a real mystery. You wanted to know what happened when he left the train and why he left the train, and so you're sort of going along on this journey with her, and it's kind of fun to find things out as she finds them out. The one cool thing is I watched this on 1.5 speed.
What?
The whole movie. Yeah, I watched it on 1.5 speed.
What?
And some of those fight scenes, go back and watch it on 1.5 speed. It's the funniest thing you ever want to see, especially when they're holding number 6 down on the table and he's got.
Oh yeah.
He's like, the sounds he was making, it was hilarious. I didn't play it on 1.5 the whole time, but just your certain singing that I thought were going to be musical.
There wasn't any dance or singing.
But it was hilarious. It was fun, and the monsters looked cool. The mask was actually not bad, for back then.
No, it looked great.
Yeah.
they look like a real alligator head.
Mhm.
So it was
It's
really
just a
really good. Really
bodysuit.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that thing, man, that looked like that was terrible. And her running through the swamp was you could tell she runs across this one alligator, and you could tell it's very clearly fake. Its mouth just opens and closes. Pow, pow. Then she runs 10 more feet, and there's a live one there that she almost trips over. I was like, why do they got a fake one here? But over here, she's trying to jump over a live alligator. But anyhow,
There's a number of real alligators in this movie that it's a lot of fun.
That Lon Chaney couldn't shoot if it was the sign of a red.
I know. The total
Well,
stormtrooper.
He couldn't figure out which of the three was the real alligator, right? So.
I used to be a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
Stormtrooper.
Until I failed the marksmanship, which is saying something, right?
Shouldn't use the Huck handy. She used the other one.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I had seen this before. I saw this quite a while ago when I was a youngster, and the main things that stuck with me are Lon Chaney Jr. Because he is a presence in this movie, and the alligator, both the face and the head. You know, when he finally goes full alligator.
Never go full alligator.
Not quite half alligator, I guess. But anyway, hey, as long as I can still get me pants on. I just had a great time with this, and doing research on this, finding out how many really accomplished filmmakers were involved in this movie. It's really kind of amazing how they got these together for $300,000. That's kind of insane. So, and lots of people with other credits in the genre, you know, that these are people that my impression is they like to work, you know. So if they had some time off to do something, even if it was low budget, they went and did it, you know, and gave it their all. There's so many silly things in here in terms of, but silly, cool things. The alligator wrestling and it just was fun. And I loved all the cast does well, but there's a fair amount to say about several of them. And so let's get into that. But first, it's now time for Taglines with Chad.
I love it.
As usual, Jeff tries to cram as many over in, and I'm sure a third of these he wrote himself.
No. I did transcribe some of them from the trailer, though, because they were just too good.
Okay. All right. The taglines for the movie The Alligator People are as follows. Terror in the Bayou.
I think that's like Creedence Clearwater song.
I was just going to say that.
Oh, I should have waited.
Her honeymoon shattered by an unbelievable horror.
No comment.
Seriously. She seems like a pretty intelligent woman. But she married this guy without really knowing anything.
She didn't know he was an alligator. Who
That's
doesn't tell
but it was true love.
Her honeymoon turned into a nightmare of terror and horror. Nerve-shattering terror. The alligator people will make your skin crawl.
See.
Yep.
Have you ever seen a nightmare crawling? Well, you will when you see the alligator people. Okay.
Crawling nightmare.
Like your voice broke on that one.
Let's anthropomorphize nightmares here.
Lon Chaney as the hook-armed, hate-maddened Cajun, who did not speak in a Cajun accent whatsoever.
No.
Suspense that will clutch you like quicksand, pulling you down into bottomless depths of suffocating horror.
Spoil the ending much?
It was in the trailer. I mean,
It's the big shocker in screaming horoscope. Boy, I tell you.
also known as CinemaScope to most companies, but Horoscope.
Horoscope.
So if anybody's interested, check out the trailer. The person doing the narration is Ted Knight.
Ted Knight.
Who played newsman Ted Baxter in the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Meanwhile, back at the Justice League.
Then taglines with Chad.
Thank God.
So fun.
I love your Rodney Dangerfield, by the way.
I know, it was good.
All right. Well, let's do we want to get into stuff right away, or you just want to just talk about it? I mean, they're on this train and they're just
talking
like
about it, whether we do.
Well, we should say that before we get to the train part, that it's told in flashback with the Beverly Garland character recounting, a life that she does not remember, that she has suppressed, this horror that has happened.
Not only does she not remember, she has a different name.
Well, she has the same name except for the last name, right? She just forgot, didn't she? Or
she just forgot her last name.
She just forgot the final bit of her name. But she goes, it's like, I think I was married. I'm not sure. I'm so confused.
Not sure.
So are we? What is going on? But I don't know. It's a good device, right, to kind of get us into it, and it comes back to them occasionally.
They were annoying as hell.
They did a little bit.
Those scenes just really. So if you inject somebody with sodium pentothal, you need to talk to them like this.
Whoops, sorry.
What is your name?
Yep.
Now tell us about your marriage.
Now what?
Yes. And what?
But it was all snappy patter before that. I got a real sharp one here for you.
Was she a cute one? Hey.
I know they were little.
Why are you using sodium pentothal and a lie detector? Oh,
because of the cobalt radiation.
Oh, and
we don't want to turn her into an alligator.
And the doctor pulling up and the parking only for doctors. Boom, boom, boom. And it was just, I don't know. I just
we had to see. We get a shot of him. We have a sign of the name of the sanitarium. Then we get a sign of the doctor's door and neuropathology.
It was wonderful. I loved it.
Very, very low budget sci-fi 50s.
Yep.
Storytelling there. Yeah.
And then they're having a jolly old time in their train compartment as she's retelling this story that she remembers under hypnosis. And I guess he didn't hypnotize her. He just drugged her.
He just drugged her.
Molly.
That's anyway. Ice cream.
They're just having a simply lovely time. I think this is actually pretty well written in that we get a little backstory in there without having it be, intrusive, about how, we met in this hospital. I was a nurse and he was, and she makes some comment about how he claims that every bone in his body was broken. And, oh, you doubt me? Well, yeah. How'd you come out looking so good without any scratches or scars or anything? So, so we get that. So something's very strange about his ability to recover from this accident. Then they're going through their telegrams for their wedding, and boom, he gets a funny look on his face, bolts out of when's the next stop, and bolts out of the cabin, and she's just like,
yesterday.
Paul!
Get back on, Paul.
Stupid.
Where's his family live? I don't know. Does he have a family? I don't know.
I just met him 5 minutes ago.
But she's good at it. She detects.
Oh, she does.
To the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Figures out.
Can I just say that the train conductor too also made me chuckle a little bit because he was like such a train. He no,
wasn't
2
having
seconds late. It's 2 minutes late. We're supposed to.
Right.
We're
You're
not
not getting
staying
off the
more than
train.
60 seconds. We
Don't be
can't
getting
stop.
off the train.
Oh,
So
was good.
let's go through this stuff here. So we've got there's kind of the standard poster. It's on the Scream Factory Blu-ray, and that's, I don't know, that's the one I see now. I assume it was the original.
Well, we
Or
didn't mention
Shadows,
that the main alligator person is a glam rocker from the 70s.
I know.
That's why he's looks
What's
like
with the lipstick there, dude? I don't
Gary
remember
Glitter,
that.
man.
Yeah.
I love the color though, but it's just wow.
And the bright yellow is just, I don't know.
And that's a pretty fine print tagline on there. Her honeymoon turned into a nightmare of horror. The alligator people will make your skin crawl. So we got 3 of them just on this one poster.
If not, Lon Chaney will.
So
Lon Chaney at his angriest.
And his drunkest.
And
he
his
looks like
moistest.
Wow. Wow. Yes. But I mean, he
His
looks like
dampest, I guess.
he looks like he smells like, moonshine, doesn't he? Just... Oh, there
And
he
there
is.
he is. Oh, so good.
Mm.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But he chooses scenery in such wonderful fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, it really
He
is a
does.
fun role for him.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's a little skeevy part that I wish wasn't there, but other than that, I really enjoy this character. It's just I'm like, what's his job on this thing? Is he just because they don't need alligator wranglers? They got 2 other guys doing it.
Yeah.
He just drives this truck and screams at people.
Yeah. He
Shoots
picks
a
up
gun at midnight.
Yeah. He picks up Cobalt from the train station and drives the truck around.
Lives in a
Speaking of which,
one-room
when
cabin.
she finds out, did anybody else go, what the hell? When she figures out where he lives, so she takes a train, and we go from her going, I finally found out he was from Bayou Landing, and it shows her getting off the train. And there's this big crate sitting there, obviously marked radioactive material. And she
right on
sits down on it.
I know.
I know. Oh, like,
Just like, oh my God.
And that's the
What?
look on his face as she's watching her do it at the top.
Yeah.
I wonder if she knows that's radioactive.
Well, we got a couple other posters to get through. I think, or not
Oh, sorry.
posters. I think that's a cover of something, which is kind of cool. It's sort of almost
Mhm.
comic book like there.
Yeah. And I just love the zappy of the alligator in green. And
mm,
The
That's so
and
good.
speaking of which, this is pre the lizard appearance in Marvel.
ooh,
So,
that's interesting thought.
Mhm.
and there's we swapped heads there.
Oh my gosh. No. To be fair, the film is in black and white. Just see this colorized.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
makes it that much funnier.
And this was released as literally what they wanted was a double feature to go with Return of the Fly, and they didn't, because they didn't think Return of the Fly was going to get the market that they got with The Fly. So
And that's
go
awesome.
make the Alligator People quick.
I wanted to see that double feature.
yeah.
Oh,
Two
yeah.
tear-topping horror hits.
And like you guys said before, I think the makeup with, not the alligator head part, but just the makeup of Paul, I think it's fun. I love it. Just his alligator skin. It looks good in shadow. And
Well, I'm cool with the alligator head. It's just the overlap between the head and the body. That's
oh yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
All right. Well, we got to talk about these guys. So, we're kind of laughing about this because there's some pretty silly stuff, but the filmmakers, Roy Del Ruth, and this picture here at the top is him sitting next to Milton Berle in drag at a musical comedy that Del Ruth directed. But he also did, the only ones I recognize kind of or hit me were the Babe Ruth story, which was a bad movie.
Mhm.
Babe Ruth was still alive or just on his last legs, and they were afraid to offend him, so they kind of whitewashed everything about him. And then William Bendix, who is about as least Babe Ruth as anybody could possibly be, played Babe Ruth. But at any rate, that's one of the ones I know about. But he did a little bit of everything. He started out with Mack Sennett. I think around 1916 or 1919, doing shorts.
Kind of
And there
crazy.
was, let's see, Topper. I know there's another movie that he had two movies.
Phantom of the Rue Morgue he did.
Yes, yes.
54. Yeah.
Which is interesting. That was a 3D movie. Right about that same time, a creature from the Black Lagoon came out, and that starred a fairly well-known character, and I forget who that was.
I just had it up. Carl Malden.
Yes, yes.
Carl Malden.
Well, I guess I'm going to quit looking. I knew there was two movies that he had done. Oh, he did the original version of Maltese Falcon in 1931.
Saw that.
Which is pre-code and is kind of worth the watch just for that. But it's basically the same story. It just doesn't quite have the style of the 41 version. Anyway.
And he did the Ziegfeld Follies, too.
Yeah. Yep. So he seems like, if you go through his stuff, he kind of seems to do everything interchangeably. Comedy, there's a few film noir, mystery, adventure kind of things in there. Goals. And somewhere I saw a statement that he was the second highest paid director in Hollywood from the period 1932 to 1941.
Wow.
According to Box Office and Exhibitor magazine. So, and one of the films I think I saw a credit for him for his pay was $160,000. Sometime, I think it was in the 40s or maybe 50. So I can't even imagine what he got for Alligator People, but he was a competent director.
Yep, he did do another horror film in 1928. Well, it's more of a mystery thriller, but they do label as horror. It's called The Terror.
Oh yes, yeah.
And which is the name of the killer in a mysterious manor house. It's one of those old dark house movies.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, anything that stuck out about the direction? I'm not, it's.
There was some interesting choices, like when she first came into the house. Paul's wife first came into the house, and the mother came down the stairways. There was a nice wide shot of them of the two of them when they were talking back and forth. And usually in these kind of B movies, they're right up on each other, talking like this. But it was a nice wide shot that showed the expanse of the room there a little bit. I thought was a really cool shot. And then that was the last good shot I saw.
I liked it when Paul comes to play the piano. That
was nice.
It was nice and moody and creepy, and I knew who he was already, but if you didn't know who Paul was, that was the scaly Paul was kind of creepy.
Well, even when he turned around, you couldn't really tell what was wrong with him at that point. You knew something was wrong, but you couldn't tell what.
But he left his muddy footprints and
that was a lot of mud.
Wet fingers on the keys.
He left more mud going out than he came in. How did he do that?
And I know we were joking about the sitting on the box of cobalt, but I did like the train. I did like the station. It looked kind of you could see the greenery kind of overflowing, and I believe that it was a hot area, a desolate area, no one there, no one to meet her, no one that worked at the station. They just dropped her off. I did like that scene.
You couldn't. You really could not miss the the caution, radioactive material.
And she just plops her butt right on it.
She said right on that
This
label.
is not a lead box. Warning, warning.
That is so funny.
Um,
And it's just like sitting there. They just dropped it off and laid it there.
so
Well, it's time for this.
yeah, well, let's say we're kind of talking about her, but she does great. So that
Look at that owl in the background.
Yeah.
What?
the
Stop.
top picture is when they're the sodium pentothal and he's holding out the microphone,
Yeah.
I guess, for the recorder. But that was just ridiculous
Want
the
a
way
mint?
that he questioned her.
That's what it looks like. He's offering me.
Yeah.
Mint.
And then talk about a kind of a trooper kind of a thing. I
Mhm.
mean, Jesus, she's running around through that.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's a set, but swampy water and crap and anyway.
Running by fake ones, stepping over
Yeah.
real ones.
Oh yeah. Now I imagine they had their mouths tied, but she sort of acted like, yeah, that stuff didn't bother her. It was
And
What did she
sometimes
say? It
they'll
was-
still whip the crap out of you with their tail.
She's more
Those are all young alligators too. None of those are alligators.
I was
And
surprised. Maybe they
you
were
know.
drugged or something. I don't
well, the one was fake. She runs by the one and then she goes, and its tail went.
Yeah, but one of them flipped up on her. I thought
Yeah, and then
that
she
was-
runs 10 feet down the waterway a little bit, and there's a live one sitting there. She almost trips over.
She just steps right over, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
And then she gets a snake. She's more afraid of the snakes.
yeah.
She's fine with gators.
And
Which-
Griffin
Well, she's
West.
Chaney Jr. comes in with his wire hanger.
I mean, she's
Okay,
not
and-
married. She's not married to a snake. She's married to a gator, so that makes sense.
You want to get rid of Lon Chaney in this movie? You should have called Joan Crawford.
Ah.
Well, and that's the sleaze scene, right, where he takes her
Mhm.
into his cabin
Mhm.
and he's literally leering at her. There's no hidden.
Go on, take him off.
He's leering at her, and then he walks over and shuts the door.
Yeah.
Goes, "Oh, you look cold. Why don't you get out of those wet things? Come on, get them off."
Oh my gosh.
Man, tries to get her some. Here, drink this. Drink this
Okay,
alcohol.
Yeah.
all right. Well, how about I wrap this blanket around you?
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
You
Sorry.
owe me. Yeah.
starts licking
And then he
on
punches her.
I know.
Nice.
Right in the
She
face.
screams. She screams and he punches her. Don't do that.
Don't you do that.
Don't do that.
Don't ever
Straight
do
on
that.
the face.
I hate it when they scream. I'm like, God. Come on.
Oh man. Yeah, that was quite a scene.
She's awesome in this movie.
Yeah.
Well, she's great.
Mhm. Yeah.
All tones of it, the being
Yep.
afraid, to
Mhm.
being mad, to being in
Uh-huh.
love, all
Uh-huh.
that stuff.
She's also pretty
Alligator
slick.
man comes in and does all that alligator kung fu and whips Lon Chaney's butt.
I saw that. I was thinking that
Did you
too.
see that
He
kick,
learned
that
judo in
roundhouse
the
kick?
military. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Oh yeah, that nurse.
Alligator kung fu.
It looked like alligator kung fu. He comes in
Oh,
kicking
yeah.
and chopping and dodging blades.
Yep.
And
It was good. Did you watch that in 1.5 speed?
Wow, she
yeah, I did.
she-
It was. I went back and played it again at 1.5 speed just to see what it was like. And it was
I-
just as funny.
I was impressed by her the way she snuck the key. She got that key.
Yeah.
She was like
Mhm.
a
She was on it.
magician sneaking that.
Yeah.
Well, and she was very natural. I mean, I felt like
Yep.
like you guys were talking about how she played all these parts, all these different feelings, and I totally believed it. She was so I think I said before, just so warm, but she was also strong and like I have no choice, or when she first meets Paul's
Yeah.
mom and getting the key, she was so smart. You could tell that she planned it. She walked over
Mhm.
there specifically to get it, but she played it so well.
But then she was caring when she finds out it's Paul's mom, and
Yes.
she's like, it's surprisingly a wide range of emotions for a B movie like this. So.
Yeah, she is really good. And I couldn't tell at the end when the doctors are deciding if they're gonna tell her or not. I almost felt like she still had the same kind of warm personality, but was almost like kicked up a notch, like like she really didn't know what was going on, you know.
Right.
And I thought, I wonder if she did that on purpose. That was really, you know, but it really brought home the fact that she was so damaged by this, and she had no idea whatsoever about this. She was so traumatized. She screams a lot too.
She does
In this movie.
Pow!
Pow! Pow!
Shut up!
Her first credit is in DOA, 1949, the film noir movie, which is a great movie if you haven't seen that. And then she, you know, she has almost 200 credits.
One of
Stepmom.
Daphne's favorite, yeah.
Stepmom in
That's where I remember her from.
My Three Sons.
Yeah.
Stepmom. And I was when I was looking at her credits, I was trying to see if I could recognize. I swear I've seen her like in carrying a gun, kind of a little bit like a Western.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just, you know, being kind of tough. And then when I was looking up stuff on Wikipedia,
Okay.
she was in a TV show called Decoy. She was an undercover cop in 1957 to 58, and according to Wiki, it says that it was the first American television police series with a woman in the starring role.
Yes, yes, I saw that too. First police character. She was in It Conquered the World.
Yes.
And right before that, Daphne, I'm not saying this is the movie you're talking about, but she was in a movie called Gunslinger where she played Marshall Rose Hood.
Ah, maybe.
Grue-Crew, the beast of the Amazon.
Yeah, she did. You know, she worked Not of This Earth. Yes.
She was really good.
1957. Yeah, I'd like to see that. And, you know, that was back when they did, you know, they only did one season of that, but there was 39 episodes.
Oh, wow. Really? Well, I saw that it was in public domain, so it's probably pretty easy to
Yeah, it's probably
watch.
out there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If somebody's loaded them. These are strange. She did a Twilight Zone in 1960. The Four of Us Are Dying.
Episode of Thriller.
She was in
Guessing
Remington Steel
for
for a couple of episodes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Swamp Woman. I don't know what Swamp Woman is, but
she was in the Planet of
Perry
the Apes
Mason,
television
of course, everybody's
series.
in Perry
Perry
Was
Mason.
she really?
Excellent. Yeah, it says 1974. She was in the Planet of the Apes episode called "The Interrogation."
Oh, she was in Airport 1975.
An episode of Thriller in 1960. Oh, this is my chance to throw in another Frederick Brown connection. And to my friend, I think it was Andy L. told me about this. A Frederick Brown story, Knock 312, which is the signal is you knock 3 times and once then twice to get in. So she was in that episode. And it's from a Frederick Brown story and has, God, I swear, I think Warren Oates is in that.
She was in a movie with Linda Blair.
Hey, cool.
Roller Buggy. Sorry, I just had to go there. Did you watch? Have you seen Roller Buggy, Chad?
No.
No.
Sure.
I have.
Everything, Doc. So anyway, yeah. So how many episodes of My Three Sons did she do?
I don't know. She was in. I know she was towards the end of the series, so late 60s, early 70s.
74 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like maybe. See, it'd be 3 years.
Yeah.
Probably a girlfriend for a while. Yeah.
Little feet going on. She was in.
I actually have that as one of the. I should play that sometime. This would have been a perfect time. I've got that clip as a lead into taglines with Chad, but maybe that might be one of the ones they jinx us on. All right, so yeah, the day the Earth moved.
Scarecrow and Mrs. King. She
TV
was
movie. Yeah.
a regular
So
on that, apparently.
she's like everywhere.
Mm-hmm. And again, I think she was really, really excellent in this movie.
And especially when she has to deal with Lon Chaney Jr.
Look at that. Oh man.
What that
Sitting
damn
next to
box
him
you
there.
sitting on?
There was a few
That's some
times where
cobalt. Get off of that box there.
when he was wrestling and fighting with people, I'm like, geez, you got to watch out for that hook. You know, he had his hand up around somebody's neck. He poked somebody's eye out.
Might be worried about something else other than that.
Well, what have we done? We did the House of Dracula, and we did Wolfman and Spider Baby. Was there another one? It seems like there was another one
That we've done.
Yeah,
You got to do more. You got to do more.
that he starred in. We've talked about it millions of times of doing
We didn't do
Indestructible
Indestructible Man.
Have you done Ivan Costello, Meet Frankenstein?
Oh, yes, we did. So
Okay,
that'd be
well,
number
he's in-
4
He's in that. So.
before this.
One
So
of his best times. His roles.
I did read something that I didn't
Wolfman.
realize this. I mean, that Lon is not his name, and he had already begun an acting career when the studio wanted him to use Lon Chaney Jr. for the name recognition.
Mhm.
Oh, son of
After-
Dracula too.
Mhm.
Duh.
Alucard.
Alucard. Well, it after recently seeing him in The House of Dracula, and you kind of felt for him a little bit, and then he's this total sleazeball
Mm,
here.
Manon. Yeah, by this time they dropped a junior, so he was just Lon Chaney. So
Yeah, in the credits, I just don't know. The credits are so weird. How many times do you read? They use a different name in this movie or that movie, and I always wonder how much of that is just the person taking the information doesn't pay that much attention. Who played that part? Lon Chaney.
I mean, he's one of those actors, that if you say Karloff, Lugosi, Chaney, you know who you're talking about.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, we have some more. I got some more shots of him where he's getting into some fights here.
Oh man, so good.
Where he's getting manhandled by the.
And that's not the first time he's gotten electrocuted like that,
Yeah.
is it?
It is.
Was it the Indestructible Man? Is that the one
Yep.
there again?
So yeah, that top picture is when he charges into the wherever they're doing the experiment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I want to find that gator man. I'm gonna kill him. I gotta kill that 2-legged gator.
That's pretty much was all of his dialogue through the movie was, "I'm gonna kill you gators." Yes.
And then it's really kind of cool, isn't it? I mean, he dies because his hook cuts into the electric cable.
Yeah.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm.
Yeah.
Oh god!
Convenient.
Face it off with the 2-legged gator man. 2-legged gator. All right. We also have this Mr. Webster in his
Oh!
on the Richard Crane on the train on their honeymoon.
Mhm.
Beverly Garland, and there he is with the makeup, which is pretty good.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I like that.
Mhm.
We'll be talking about why that particular makeup is potentially confusing here in a little bit. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, stay
Potentially.
tuned, everybody.
I don't know too much about him.
He sort of looks like the Thing from the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
You're right. He does.
Mhm.
Absolutely, I
Mhm.
thought about that.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
interesting.
He kind of spent his character was mostly just him kind of wandering off. I felt like just not leaving any information for her.
Then when she does find him, he sounds like Sling Blade.
Yeah.
I reckon you ought not look at my face like
He does.
You're right. Yeah.
But that's kind of cool, isn't it? I mean, that they
Mhm.
changed his vocal cords because
Mhm. Yeah.
he's
Mhm. Well, he was in a TV series called Rocky Jones Space Ranger, which he played Rocky Jones.
oh, that's the one I just
You just mentioned that.
I think it's a serial on.
Yeah, the serial. It's a serial.
Classic Sci-Fi Channel. Well, now I got to go
There
check
you
it
go.
out.
Well, cited was a TV series, so it must have became a TV series. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, it could be that, that they took the series and made the movies how they did with Superman and Batman and all that.
But it's hard to see hard to tell because the names of the movies back then are all so strange. But it's hard to tell if he did any genre stuff.
There's a Boston Blackie episode.
He was in Neanderthal Man, and Neanderthal Man also, so he was in that.
What year was that?
1953.
My favorite scene with him was the one that Chad mentioned already, where he starts doing the judo kicks when he's fighting Lon Chaney Jr. Busting there with all the kids.
The only thing important about Neanderthal Man that we should mention is Beverly Garland was in that as well. So.
Yes, yes. I was just looking because I knew somebody else was in that. He doesn't have he only has 5 minutes looking normal without makeup at the beginning.
Yep.
And then we get the apparently there was a part in the original script that explained his predilection for playing piano. and that he played that song or wrote that song or something, and so when she heard that playing, that's got her down there.
Are you familiar with a TV show called Surfside 6? Does that sound familiar?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I ever saw it.
He was Lieutenant Gene somebody. Pleh? P-L-E-H-N, Plen. I don't know how you say it.
Flogging.
And then he was in a movie called House of the Damned. A headless woman wandering the grounds. Oh my God, they've got to watch that one. Sorry.
Oh, here he is. Who did you say? Because this is he's also in Commander Cody, Sky Marshal of the Universe.
There you go.
He plays Dick Preston in 9 episodes. All right.
What a name.
Yeah, so he's
I like that.
Decent.
His height is credited as 5'10" and a half. Who put
Dick
that in there?
Male prostitute.
5'10" and a half.
All right.
Oh wait, can we do one thing? This is okay. So there's an interesting trivia with him. I just think this is interesting. So Richard Crane's 7-year Rocky Jones contract called for him to never appear in public without his Space Ranger uniform and to appear on annual tours of at least 60 cities and before PTA and similar school groups.
And he always had to be in his uniform.
Always had to be in the Rocky Jones universe. 7 years.
And it was only 39 episodes.
Whoops.
Oh my God.
I'll bet that show that was listed, it didn't look like it was a serial on Classic Sci-Fi Channel. I'll bet that was a collection of 3 or 4 episodes or something.
Yeah, they'll do that. Put them. Makes sense.
Richard Crane plays Rocky Jones.
7-year contract.
Scotty Beckett plays
7
Winky.
years.
Like what mirror did he break?
All right, I know what I'm going to be doing. Checking out Rocky Jones. Yeah, so we have these other support. This is a pretty good supporting crew, considering. So George McCready plays the scientist. What'd you say?
Considering what? That is the B movie or what? What was it considering part of that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, this movie, it doesn't have a name star for the lead, an A-lister star for the lead, but everybody else involved in this movie, including the crew, is all these people could have were supporting casts in the leads, and we've got Oscar nominees and stuff like that all over the place. We talked about how many credits these other guys had. George McCready had 152 credits, which included Return of Count Yorga, and he was a narrator in Count Yorga. I believe his son was the producer for one of those films, that had Robert Quarry, directed by Bob Keljan, which we've done on Decades of Horror, the 1970s. Michael McCready, yeah, he's in the original, the first one. So,
he's one of my favorite non-horror films, The Great Race.
Mm-hmm.
What does he play? He plays General Custer, or Custer. Maybe it's Custer. It has an H in it and a K, but I'm trying to think of who that is in the movie. I'm sorry, digress. But I love The Great Race. If we ever do non-horror films, I want to do The Great Race.
Well, I've been thinking lately, I keep trying to watch for things like The Nutty Professor or The Ghost and Mr. Chicken. I really want to do, but it's never. They always make you pay for it. So yeah, he's in a bunch of this stuff. I mean, he's in A Night Gallery. He's in
A Get Smart, also an awesome show.
The Outer Limits, The Alfred Hitchcock Hour.
A lot of the folks that we talk about have been on in that Thriller, Boris Karloff's Thriller. Mm-hmm. I really need to watch that because it looks so good, and it's Boris Karloff having a show. But a lot of folks are in it. Like he was in a Thriller also, and it's on the Play Now Media.
It is. I think a lot of those shows, there's a few straight out horror type, but a lot of them are sort of, what I want to say, like detective thriller type twist things, nasty twists. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I need to go back and check those out again because after a while I forget. 3 episodes of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, so several different. Also the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. Kiss Before Dying. That's a good film noir, kind of based on an Ira Levin book. That's the first one of his books that was a movie with Robert Wagner.
He's in. It's really. I don't know. I guess I'm going to call it cheesy, kind of 40s B picture called Monster and the Ape. And he's actually like top billed along with Robert Lowry in it. It's kind of got a ape and a robot. Right. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, the Monster and the Ape. And then Frida Inescourt, I just was having a conversation with my brother last night. He's a Svengoolie fan, and they were getting ready to watch The Return of Dracula or The Return of the Vampire. Couldn't call it Dracula, with Bela Lugosi, which we covered on Classic Era. But Frida Inescourt stars in this, and this was her, I think, close to her last role. Apparently, she suffered from MS, and she does use a cane in this, and I think it was necessary. She's the harsh matriarch. You're right, Daphne, in that the story is these aren't bad people, but they're like keeping this secret. They can't let anybody know, and so you're left to imagine all these things.
Mm-hmm. And she does a good job of that because she does come across as hard and hiding something, but then I believe it when you find out that she's his mother and she's just doing it for him essentially. Mm-hmm. I thought she transitioned like that really nicely.
Douglas Kennedy he's done tons and tons and tons of westerns, but again, 2 episodes of The Texan too. We got to get that in. Starring Chad.
The Texan?
Yeah. Rory Calhoun.
Oh.
Chad wasn't ready for that.
Whenever
two.
Jeff asks you something, it's Rory Calhoun.
I'll always say Rory Calhoun.
Rory Calhoun.
What are we
yeah.
talking about? What are we talking
Rory
about?
Calhoun.
What was the question again?
It's like being back in high school, isn't it, Chad?
Another guy that said,
I
I know we've done a movie with him in it, and Bruce Bennett.
Bruce,
And Bruce Bennett. So those are the two doctors. They're sitting there getting ready to
give her a
talk
minute.
funny to her.
That microphone was very distracting when he was asking a question.
Well, why that? She's
Now
such
what?
a looker, right? She's
Yeah.
Why? Oh man.
Oh.
Douglas Kennedy was in a couple other genre films. The Amazing Transparent Man is one of them. That's one you've talked about doing, right?
Yes.
One step beyond.
Plastic
Anyway.
cling wrap man,
These guys are just.
Ziploc man.
I mean, all these guys have like 150 to 200 credits.
Mhm.
It's crazy. They had to be in genre stuff. Bruce Bennett was in some film noir. I think he was in something called The Cosmic Man right around this time.
Cosmic Man.
This is the man era of everything was the something man.
I know this really
Yeah.
should have been the Alligator Man. I didn't see any alligator women.
Well,
But
there was a couple other alligator people,
Uh-huh.
There
right?
was.
Yeah.
and they had the weird flat mask. What
I
was
know.
that all about?
I was going to talk about that. I like.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
why in the world they had that, but it looked really cool and creepy. The robes and that weird netted head or a helmet around them, and
Little terry cloth.
yeah, their little
pajamas
trick
they had
robes.
Yeah, that was weird. What was that?
Yeah.
I don't even understand why.
I know.
It just was strange.
I know where they saying that their head kind of slowly turns into I mean, maybe I don't know, but it was definitely like, what is happening here?
Maybe it holds their head down so they can't see where they're going. If they try to get away, they just run into things.
Yeah.
Run into a big guy.
Well, so here's two of my favorite
Like
things.
Scooby Doo or something.
I love the cool gadget.
Yeah.
That thing was
Yeah.
really cool, and I'll bet you the crew had a blast making that. Whether it was mechanized or not, but it lowered down. It came, we had to see the whole action of it.
The painted on beam.
Yes. And that gator has its mouth open through the entire scene. Maybe
I didn't
he's
sign
not
up for
alive.
this. I don't want to be a man.
So cool. And now we get on to the end phase.
There he is. Yes. I mean,
What everybody's been waiting for, I hope.
isn't that
Yikes.
it looks so fantastic. But look at his neck. Look at the little.
I know.
Yeah.
He has a cowl.
It's just
It's
a little
like I wanted
pull-on.
to. Yeah, I really wanted
No,
to.
no,
make
no,
one of
no,
those.
no,
I ran
no,
out of
no, no,
time.
Alligator man.
I guess I couldn't blend that in or anything. Yeah.
Oh.
And
so
when he
great.
turned, the whole cowl turned with it. When he turned,
And he's smiling.
Yeah.
the
just
sculpt on it
wanted
is
to-
not bad. The sculpt on it, it looks pretty good,
Yeah.
actually. That must be the Dick Smith part.
Well,
the rest of it just
That helps that it's in black and white. Yeah.
And I
So,
love
yeah,
that
we
he's
said-
just
I don't
wearing
think
some
we've said that
chinos
now,
with
though.
it.
So the special effects people are listed as Ben Nye and Dick Smith. So but we've got
However,
some discrepancy about Dick Smith. Doc, you want to talk about?
do I want to talk about?
Well, literally every
Everywhere
place
you
on
look.
the internet says Dick Smith is the Dick Smith
Mhm.
and lists this under his credits, including IMDb. But if you go to dicksmithmakeup.com with a dash between make and up, it is not listed in his credits.
Nope, not listed. But everywhere else it is. Even on the there's like a professional makeup site that goes through his stuff, and there it is. I'm so confused. I want to know is it him or not? And you said, Jeff, that there was a podcast or something where they said,
well, the commentary on the Blu-ray from Scream Factory says it is not the Dick Smith. It's a different Dick Smith. And most places, a lot of places have it confused and reference it as
the Dick Smith,
the well-known Dick Smith. Yeah. And even IMDb, if you click on the link that they give you, and Wikipedia, where they say the makeup's done by Ben Nye and Dick Smith, there is no link for the Dick Smith on there. So it's
a mystery.
It's a mystery. How do we find out? Who do we contact? We've got to find out for reals.
Well,
I tried to look at see if there were some stills, because you know how oftentimes you can find Dick Smith stills working on something, or even just behind the scenes. I couldn't find anything, but I mean, I didn't spend too much time looking on it. But yeah, I mean, it's like, do people have it listed just because everybody else has it listed? How do we know?
I know, but I mean, I don't think he made the alligator head that we're looking at, but the scale of makeup on Paul, I would believe Dick Smith did that, because it's really good.
It's good.
And and it's the kind of makeup that he would become famous for. Maybe not doing scales, but it's very akin to like the old man makeup that he would do a lot. From
and maybe the references on his website aren't comprehensive, but on IMDb, on the website, I think the earliest film credit that's listed is 62. Is that right?
Yep.
Well, I think
you guys looking?
I'm going back to it, and I think that they had said that it doesn't cover all of his work. But let me go back to it now. Of course, it's not working. Here are just some examples of the incredible work Dick did during his almost 60 years. So, yes, the film credit starts at 62, but maybe it doesn't include all of them.
Yeah, maybe not. I mean, even in IMDb, there are some films that are prior to that, but there is a lot of like uncredited stuff. A lot of TV, but there's a film called 58 called The Flame Barrier that he supposedly did. So and From Hell to Texas. I'm just uncredited in that, but I'm just so confused by this whole thing. I did not know that this
right
dilemma existed. Who do we ask? Who do we ask? You gotta.
Or it's like, it's a way to ask the guys on the commentary. Like, did they say anything about?
They just said it wasn't him. It was a different Dick Smith, and it was. So I don't know.
Start emailing Rick Baker today.
Yes.
Well, I do know
he would know. Rick Baker would know.
We could make a comment in the special effects Facebook group that a bunch of people are extremely active in, or I could ask Ralph and he see if he'll scout.
Ooh, yeah, do that. It's got to be. I want to know.
I know, it's very strange.
Because pull up the makeup of Paul before he becomes Alligator Guy, and
yeah,
right, and you could look at it, because
it's good.
That looks like I would buy that was Dick.
But
Smith
Ben Nye
makeup.
could do that too, right?
Well, yeah, but that's more what Dick Smith did, right? Am I wrong?
You mean like if you look at his like age makeup and stuff like that?
Right.
Right. Yeah, I just thought it was.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't. I if somebody said he didn't do the Alligator Guy, I would believe it.
Right.
That would make a lot of sense. But this is, I would say this is him. I guess I would lose that, and I don't know. It's so weird. Chad said, I'm not going to get into this.
I have no idea. From everything it sounds like, it sounds like there was a guy named Dick Smith that worked on it, and then people just ran with it, thinking it was Dick Smith. And
well, I have seen stuff that gets all it has to do is be listed it gets like it's listed in IMDb and it's wrong, and so somebody else copies it to their website, and then pretty soon everybody's looking at two sources, and it just goes crazy. It's
you
like
go with the one you want it to
that's
be.
totally possible. Yeah. And people don't always credit. Yeah.
But it's so widespread. It's so widespread. I mean, you know, yes, it's the internet, so it's, you know, it is what it is. But
credit your sources, people.
I want to know. There's got to be somebody knows for sure. And has something to back it up.
Yeah.
Here's a Dick Smith that's listed as art department for them, uncredited prop construction. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
We are gonna have to ask the experts.
Yeah.
So maybe if Dirk hears this, or
Dirk would know.
Ralph, and see if what we can find.
Well, it's not like Smith is a common name or anything.
Or Dick. Yeah.
Excuse me?
All right.
It just seems like Dick Smith is Dick Smith, right? So it just seems like with Lon Chaney Jr., Lon Chaney Jr., it would be, you would do something to make it more clear that it's not the same Dick Smith. But
there's a lot of stuff in IMDb that, like, when I typed in Dick Smith, it listed some, but like the guy I just pulled up, it had a 25 after his name. So that tells you
there's a lot of
there's probably 25 Dick Smiths in IMDb, and the scroll it. So it's, I don't know. Gotta ask these guys. And you're right, on that website it just says, here are just some of the things. I'm like, God, come on.
We may have just opened up a whole nother
my OCD
a black hole somehow.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to
I'd rather not go down today.
But I mean, okay. Well, okay, keep going. I was just going to go down like, I'm just
kidding. Go ahead.
There could be other Dick Smiths in movies, but another Dick Smith that does makeup.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like there's Dick Smith. It just is. I think we should do a Patreon only where there's just us talking about this for days.
Haven't we been?
We have run into that
Chad
before.
Says yes.
We ran into that before with Italian movies on 80s.
Really?
Where the special effects guy, like, one guy's official name was one thing, but people called him this name. And there was somebody else that had that as their real name. And so I think we finally snared it down, but it wasn't easy to figure out because they got cross-pollinated in the databases and stuff. So
Next thing you've got an alligator walking around in pants.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
At the risk of boring the hell out of everybody, I got to mention these people. So Irving Kurtz is the composer of this music, which is great. He also did It Came From Outer Space. There he is with the alien and version of the alien.
I love the movie, the music in the beginning of the movie. It's so 50s.
Yeah. No, I think he does a great job on this. And he's got credits in a lot of movies from the 50s, science fiction. And strangely enough, these guys did a lot of movies, a few movies together, I think. I'm trying to find, oh God. And then they always screw it up here. If you click on the wrong thing. Okay, so for composer, he's got 109 credits. Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Custer, that TV, I think there was a TV series at one time. The Invaders. So a lot of TV stuff. The Legend of Jesse James. But then if I get down to like the 50s, The Leech Woman. Alligator People. Curse of the Undead, which we have covered. That was the Western vampire with the guy from Rawhide, Eric Fleming. Let's see here. The Fearmakers, which is I think that's a Jacques Tourneur movie. Yes, starring dun 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 Dana Andrews. The Monolith Monsters.
Monolith Monsters.
We got to do
Which
that
is
one.
That's an awesome movie. It's like the thing from 2001 just starts growing and showing up everywhere.
Ooh.
The Deadly Mantis, Incredible Shrinking Man, and then The Creature Walks Among Us, Abbott Costello Meet the Mummy.
He slummed a little bit, but that's all right.
Cult of the Cobra. Not sure what kind of movie that is. It Came from Outer Space. Anyway, now I'm back to 1950. So yeah, this guy, he did a ton of stuff. And then the cinematographer is Carl Struss, which we talked about. When did we just talked about that? Did we, or did I just bring it up because I?
Well, you may have mentioned it because he did the Frederick March, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So maybe when we were talking about the Barrymore one, you mentioned it. Yeah.
Well,
also
I think I brought it up.
Cinematographer for Island of Lost Souls, and
so he's got 148 credits.
Yeah.
Alligator People is third to the last, but also The Witches from Another World.
The Fly.
The Fly.
Help me.
And I'm thinking
Help me.
he may have done did you, Doc?
Yeah.
Maybe. He did a ton of Tarzan movies from, now maybe there was just stock footage that appeared. No, it says cinematographer.
Did he do the Lex
Barker and John, and all the way back to some Johnny Weissmuller too. I don't know how far back. Mesa of Lost Women.
Okay.
Multiple women.
Multiple.
Rocket Ship XM. Tarzan's Magic Fountain. It's just Tarzan and the Leopard Woman. Wonder Man. I don't know what that one is.
Has nothing to do with Simon Williams, I'm pretty sure, right, Jen?
Right.
Anyway. And then, of course, which we mentioned before, Island of Lost Souls and Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And he won the very first Oscar for cinematography for the F.W. Murnau film Sunrise, which is really good.
Well, and I think I don't know if you were talking about him when you were talking about earlier, but he also did The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, because he had a quote where he said that there wasn't much cinematography going on. All he needed was a cameraman, basically. Because he didn't understand the whole concept of cinematography, and you just basically did your setup and then walked away, and they did their. So
yeah. He also did still photography. There's a few, you can see some of his work online. It's pretty. It's nice.
So great career, going all the way back to the Silence, all the way up to 1960, and
he
Alligator Man.
He also was responsible for the first soft focus lens used in the motion picture.
I think he was one of the first uses of color too in a silent film, actually. And then also had started work on 3D, different types of 3D stuff at some point.
Cool.
So the other one I wanted to mention is the editor, Harry Gerstadt, who won Oscars for High Noon and Champion, which was a movie with Kirk Douglas was a boxer. But this guy, here's our Batman. He was the editor for Batman the movie, 1966.
Oh, okay.
That's the one with the shark on the leg, right? Right, Chad? Right?
Yeah.
Anti-shark.
Yes.
You got to have a certain sensibility to cut together the Batman.
Or do you?
Well, you got to know what we're going or not going for. He also did Ben,
the rat movie.
yeah.
The two of us need
Big Jake, the War Wagon. He was associated with John Wayne's production company for a while.
Okay.
Crossfire is a really well-known film noir that's really good with Robert Mitchum and Kirk Douglas. Or no, that's out of the past. Crossfire has Robert Young and Robert Mitchum.
You're just jerking us around, man.
Yeah, he's not even reading this.
You just make.
He's making it up in his head as he gets.
I love
and then
it.
in 1939, this guy Bart Chaswell went into the Motion Picture Association and stomped on the floor and pissed on the desk of the boss. And
and what did Harry do? He clapped.
He was given the Lifetime Achievement Award from the American Cinema Editors of the U.S. Okay. So it's just amazing to me that all of these guys with these historic careers did the
Alligator People. Yeah.
Yeah, of course they would. We kind of skirted over Ben Nye and his cousin.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But Ben Nye, I mean, if nothing else, we have to say the Planet of the Apes. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Come on.
Heck yeah.
Well, I think, what did I see? Ben Nye was the
janitor.
Was he the head of the special effects department for Fox, I think.
He did Lost in Space.
And Robert, is it Robert Chambers that came up with the Planet of the Apes makeup?
Okay, so
worked for him.
Ben Nye, here's your Batman one. Ben Nye did the effects for all the Batman shows.
Nice.
Really? That's right. I remember seeing his name in the credits.
Single one.
And I felt stupid.
And the Green Hornet to go along with it. Sorry.
There still is a Ben Nye company because Daphne, you said you can buy Ben Nye makeup.
Yeah.
The King and I, Planet of the Apes. That's just insane.
Fantastic Voyage.
Marathon Man. Is it safe?
Is it safe? I don't know, man.
The Boston Strangler. These are just, it just amazes me. I can't, I don't understand. I don't understand.
We could spend another hour talking about all this stuff you did.
I know. People are checked off already by now. All right.
But Planet of the Apes, we're gonna
Alligator People. It's a fun flick. Oh, the other thing was when they were, when he was the Gator Man and the Gator were wrestling in the swamp. You could really see the seam on the
back of the head
was humped up. You know, there was a big.
Well, on the whole torso part was bending and.
Yeah, I sort of expect that. But.
Yeah. Now, but it was fun to see that, though.
Yeah.
Here's another one for your list of lists there, Jeff. How many movies have we done where the creature or the hero or somebody dies in quicksand?
Yes.
Right? The Mummy, this one. And
I don't know the answer to that, but did you notice we actually had, it was Chekhov's quicksand.
Chekhov's quicksand.
Because Lon Chaney's character mentions it right at the beginning.
Right. Quicksand.
Yeah. But I love it. The last time anybody does, they always go.
Yeah.
But a Frankenstein monster went down a couple times.
Well, and we found out in a recent movie called Quicksand was that from South America? I'm trying to remember.
Yes. Yes.
That ain't the way quicksand works.
They lie?
The
movie lie?
Doesn't Hollywood lie? You mean the
movie lie?
What a great quote.
A convenient plot device that sometimes looked like mud, sometimes looked like crap floating on.
Crap.
Anyway.
But what a bummer ending. God. Everybody dies except for her. And
the house blows up.
The house blows up. The house blows up.
People.
All those people, all the sick people, everything.
See, that should have been. They could have done
all the guys in their white t-shirts.
Yeah.
Cobalt.
All
there,
the
right?
all the guys
Oh
in the
my
white
God.
t-shirts and
Why is the control panel smoking?
Oh yeah. You know,
That's about right. Kapow!
I had to rewind that scene because when Lon Chaney first runs over there and leans on the panel looking out, I thought he like grabbed the controls and jammed them forward.
That's what I thought too. But no, he was just leaning on them to get a better view.
Yeah, he was just leaning and it's sparking and smoking and
Oh.
then we
House
have the
blowed up real
setup,
good.
where
Mm.
we can't go at all past 30 seconds or
Right, yeah.
something really terrible will happen to your man, like he will
His
throw
head.
an alligator head.
What's the intermittent setting on that cobalt radiation, doctor? 30 seconds.
Seconds.
I tested it on my test doc alligator, and it's 30 seconds.
Pretty loose.
Get the big one in the corner.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh
we
my
gotta
gosh.
stop this. We've gone longer than the
do.
movie, so
Oh, yeah.
It was
without a doubt.
it's so fun. It's so much fun.
Go watch it. And by the way, folks, this is currently streaming on. I gotta look. It's on Wicked Horror TV, and it's also on. I had it on my
It is on
calendar.
Classic Horror.
It's on Classic Horror Channel
Mhm.
and
I
Wicked
watched it on
Horror.
Wicked Horror. So.
Mhm.
And it's good. It's good quality. Yeah.
It's under T for the, not A
Yes.
for alligator. So,
Well, I just search them.
and you gotta. I went to like the 50s and I had to scroll through like all these shows, season 2, season 1, season 3. Like, come on!
By the way, folks, just so you know, they are redoing all the apps. They'll be a lot more user friendly. The new channels that they have are really awesome. The apps that they have, so they're trying to redo that. I think shooting the refinish at this fall. So
Cool.
They have some good stuff. Definitely have some good stuff.
they do.
on there.
For me, it's worth it.
Yep.
So, all righty, we should probably stop. God, go watch Alligator People. Lon Chaney Jr.
Yes, it's so fun.
is the man. So, we do have a couple pieces of feedback on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It just went live yesterday.
Please let it not be Jerry Chandler.
Did you watch?
1920.
By the way, Chad, did you watch Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Yes.
So, what was your take on it?
It's not my favorite rendition. My favorite one is the Frederick March.
There you go.
Frederick March. Yeah.
Frederick March. Yep.
Yeah.
Frederick March
31.
one, but
Mhm.
but yeah, he was a creepy Mr. Hyde in this, and it played a little different than the Frederick March version, which I liked, because it was something different. But but I enjoyed it a lot though. But it's not my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I like it better than
Yeah, I
the
think Frederick March.
Herbert Lom one. Or no, that's by
Mhm.
Herbert Lom.
There's a Spencer Tracy.
Spencer
one,
Tracy one, yeah.
Mhm.
Boris Karloff was
Mhm.
a strange one. But
Yeah, there's parts of it I
Costello.
really like. I love Barry Moore's version of Hyde. He's just the pointy head and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And had you ever heard of that spider sequence before?
Mm-mm.
I thought we were astounded that we had never heard of that. Like that should be a legendary thing people talk about. But
No, I've never heard of it. I've never seen this one before, I don't think,
Yeah.
all the way through. So,
all right. Appreciate that. So we have Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, episode 160, the silent version, one from Gregory Crosby. Who wants to take that?
I'll take it.
Okay, Daphne.
Gregory Crosby says, I had the pleasure of seeing this film on Halloween many years ago with live organ accompaniment at the famed
Ooh.
Trinity Church at the foot of Wall Street, and I was not prepared for how good and truly disturbing Barrymore's performance was. I'd seen all the stills in many books growing up, and from them it looked like a non-starter, especially that weird peaked hat. But the way Barrymore moves in this film like a deranged Victorian spider is a whole different story. Seeing it in the context of a 200-year-old church only increased the film's power. Excellent pick, Daphne, and an excellent discussion all around. Thanks, Gregory.
Yeah, Gregory.
Yeah,
Wow.
I bet that was really cool seeing it with the organ and this environment.
And a 200-year-old church. Man, that would be awesome.
Awesome.
Then we have one from Mikey Z. Doc, Chad, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. I'll read it in Mike's voice, okay?
Do it.
Barrymore is my second fave J&H after Fred. What kind of secret code? What is decoder ring to read this? Barrymore is my second fave J&H after Frederick March. Considering this is now over 100 years old, this film still is engagingly creepy. The spider dream sequence still brings chills. Doc, I agree. The first transformation is great. BTW, Jeff. I pronounce it Jekyll. Of course he does. So that it contrasts with Hyde. So Hyde and Jekyll. Or, like hide and seekle. While Barrymore holds the screen, imagine Lon Chaney in the role. He was still a few years from his major appearance as a silent star. Going by the tagline, I know Jeff is a big man. Daphne is a brave woman. Does that make Doc a mollycoddle?
No. No. It does not.
I don't know why couldn't it be a big woman and a brave man?
Who cares? Also, I'm very happy that you guys got the things I sent to you. For those who have not yet received them, they're on the way. Been listening to DOH for 2 years now, and you guys get better with each episode. Love you guys. Keep me in class.
Keep me in class.
You
might change your mind after this one.
Oh my gosh, it moves. That is so awesome.
Oh, wow, it's a flexible one.
Yeah. Isn't that
gotta
cool?
be kind of elastomer, right?
It's very cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. I have my blackbird behind me. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks, Mikey. Thanks, Gregory, and folks. Hey, there's plenty of ways to stay in touch. Please send feedback to feedback@gruesomemagazine.com, or better yet, leave comments on Gruesome Magazine's YouTube channel or the Gruesome Magazine or DOH podcast Facebook group, or on the website at gruesomemagazine.com.
Yeah.
That's it, Grue Believers. But every 2 weeks, we'll be focusing on a specific film released between 1920 and 1969. Next up, chosen by Chad, is
it for me?
This Island Earth.
This Island Earth, yeah.
I forgot to put it in there.
From whatever you say, Jeff.
Yeah.
This Island Earth from some year or another.
From 1955, I think.
Somewhere in the first 70 years of filmmaking.
Think.
And what's his name? Jack Arnold had his hand in on that one too, and some of the regulars on sci-fi horror movies of the 50s are in there, disguised with strange heads with strange hair.
Metaluna.
Yes. Metaluna. So join us for that. All right. Why? Catch us again here in 2 weeks for another great horror movie of the classic era, as only decades of horror can do it.
Finally.
Say goodnight, guys.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Good night.
Gruesome Magazine.